I'd like to call the Crawford County Council meeting on October 14th at 6:02, order. Everyone there? Oh, Troy, we're missing Troy Mason. I guess first up, let's go through these minutes. We're a little bit behind. They was emailed out to you. I'm assuming everyone got them and they should be in front of you. The first one we'll do is regular session on July 28th, 2025 at 6 p.m. I'll entertain a motion to approve them as written unless someone has some changes to make.
I'll make the motion on the 28th.
All right, Sean, got a motion for the minutes on July 28th. You got a second?
I'll second it.
Bill seconds it. All those in favor? All right. One abstain.
Yeah.
Who?
Two.
So, who was it? It was Mark,
Uh,
Smith and Stevens.
Yeah. That's this one.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, total. Yeah. I can grab it, okay. Why not here? Thank you, Jonathan. Did not say it's.
Next up would be the regular session on August 12th, 6 p.m. But-
It's three.
There's three to listen.
Here's three was, well, because Mason's name, so.
I'll try to close it.
Was that? No, you can't.
That's four. Yeah.
Oh, you.
Nate, Bill, John, and Lucas.
I voted for it. You question us. No, I did not. I looked at it wrong. Sorry.
And then on this one.
Are we at the 12th?
So August 12th, and this one is the one, where I was sick and I missed it. I'll try to find it here.
I'll make a motion on the 12th also because.
Okay, Sean makes a motion to pass the minutes on the August 12th.
Second.
Right, you got a second? All those in favor? All the same, but only.
It was Jamie, but you didn't. No, I didn't. Okay, that was you. So I didn't know if the other one, I was not.
I wasn't here, so that's.
And this would be the regular after the conflict. Oh, so she didn't finish it.
Right.
Wednesday, find that out.
How much money gonna do this one, take them together? The big one? Yeah. And we'll work out public hearing.
Let's check regular report.
We
We
did.
did, oh, it was on board, but on time. It's good. This is. That's all right. I don't blame you.
Obviously, it's out of the question. I think you're correct about it. So. So the next one we'll do is, the public hearing for budget 2026 on September the 9th. There's a correction. It says 6:01. It should be 6 o'clock. We've made that correction on this paper we'll pass around.
I'll make a motion that we approve it.
All right, Bill makes a motion to approve it.
Motion to.
Linda seconds it. All in favor?
I'll abstain.
Where'd you go? I see one. So. So this one. This would be, six to 604.
Yeah.
That would be 604.
September 9th.
Yep, that's the budget here. So we got two on the same day. Perfect. That's the budget here. This next one will be the regular meeting. That you're saying, I mean, this next one will be the same day, September the 9th, 2025, with a couple of corrections at the top. It also said public hearing, that should say regular meeting, so we corrected that. And then the time, it said 6:01 and it should be 6:04. So that's been corrected. And anybody sees anything else that needs to be paid? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve these amendments.
I'll make a motion to approve those with the corrections.
There's got a motion to approve with corrections, we got a second. Dr. Lucas will second it. All those in favor?
Did anybody do the same?
I did. Yeah, my same that.
Oh, the and. You're saying about it.
Please do. Yeah. Let's get all this, right?
Overall, all right.
Additional, I guess. Or, I don't matter to them. Everybody will do it. Okay. Jaden, you're on there, Bert, are you heard?
No.
I'll do the additional.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do the additional. And then get the English set.
So the additionals is highway department, slide removal repair, pay out of capital projects, miscellaneous disbursements. 159,486.66. Highway department, slide removal repair, pay out of Orange County Riverboat professional services, 159,486.67. Highway department, slide removal repair, pay out of rainy day claims paid, 159,486.67. Treasurer's office cash counter, paid out of capital projects, miscellaneous disbursement, 3,073. County general boiler pump out, paid out of capital projects, repair and maintenance, 5,167.89. Highway department federal bridge payment, paid out of Crawford County Bridge Fund, bridge repairs, 262,750. That was the additional, so we go on to the transfers.
Did you do that further? Let's do the additionals. Let's do the additionals, we got a motion to approve the additional.
I'll make a motion to approve the
We got a
additions.
motion, we got a second, Lucas. All those in favor?
So transfers of EMS, EMT on call to EMS repairs, 5,000. To EMS professional services, 28,000. EMS utilities, 5,000. EMS liability insurance, 13,363. EMS director pay, 13,441. EMS part-time, 25,000. EMS overtime, 25,000. EMS miscellaneous supplies, 3,000. EMS ALS supplies, 5,000. EMS fuel and oil, 3,302. That's for EMS, all paid out of the EMT on call line. Probation home monitoring to probation miscellaneous, $500. probation drug-free community treatment grant. 2, probation coordinator and Fund 1148, 2,300. Drug-free community probation to probation coordinator, Fund 1148, 3,958. Crawford County Riverboat Parks Repair and Maintenance, the Crawford County Riverboat Parks Manager, part-time salary, 7,000. Also in that would be Crawford County Riverboat Parks OASI, 1,000. And Parks Unemployment, 1,000.
I'll make the motion to approve the transfers.
And Bill's got a motion to approve the transfers, you got a second?
A second.
Mark, second, all those in favor? All right, Jaden, you're,
Oh, wait a minute.
no,
Also,
sorry,
did you, that was on there, hold on, that was on there, wasn't it? 262, 750, because I read a lot.
I done sent it there.
What are you looking for?
262, 750 for the federal bridge payment, it was on there, right? Yes.
Yeah,
Making sure, because I read
Yep.
it.
for the same one.
All right,
All right. So basically, to be honest with you, I'm not really even sure what we need. We have money in a donation line that I need to spend, and that's it. We have the money, I don't need money, I just need to be able to spend it. That's it.
It's like,
That's all I got.
I'll explain to you, she got the donations in March, April, something like that, right? I don't know. the
These have been
exact
over the course of the whole year.
So when she got those donation, it got donated, the donations got put into the donation receipt line in 1219. Therefore, it went into her cash account, just like it would if you had a checking account. You pay stuff out of that, it goes down. So
We did not pay anything out of it. We did not pay a single thing out of these donations, Wendy.
It's not the donation, it's the overall cash account.
Why
So
were donations in a cash account?
your money don't sit just in donation line. Anytime you put money into a fund, it goes into the cash account. It sits there, and then when money gets spent out of there, the cash account goes down. So it does show that you have the 2,700, I think it is, in the donation line, but the overall cash account is negative.
the ordinances that Greg sent,
That's for the jet, that's for the arena jet grant.
okay?
Yeah.
But was they not one set up for this?
No, she put this in her 1219 fund, and. Well, then she paid 5,000 and something for air conditioner unit, right? Well,
Not
that
out of the
came,
donation line.
but it came off of your cash account.
So the donation that she's talking about all goes into that 1219.
Yes, but it says it in cash account, and then when money's spent out of there, it goes down.
So what is that 1219 in the negative?
And that's what we have to fix tonight, so.
That's
Um,
a salary,
her-
that becomes the salary.
the salary, her OASI, and then the air conditioner that was paid out of it. So the only way to fix it is to do a transfer, for you all to give me permission to do a transfer, just to do a correction, because that's the only really way we can do a transfer, out of county gen or rainy day. In the amount of 6,654.39,
Is that for salary?
but it's for her overall cash account.
But
So
no,
that's
it's bring her
where
to zero.
that just,
It'll bring it to zero,
so that just brings it to zero.
but
So is that donation money gone? Like, that's what I need to know, because I have all of these donors who I'm gonna have to find some way to tell them that the money they donated to, it's just gone.
That's why it should be in a separate, it should be in a separate account somewhere where it can't be touched, except for nothing.
So I
But
talked to state board of accounts about that, about setting up a donations, fund. There are stipulations to that, because it's, the fund would specifically have that these donations are used for this donation. Like, so say she had people that donate that is for the livestock. And then she had people that donate that is for the arena. It would have to specify what those donations are for on that fund. So it's a restricted, pretty much, so you can only use what that fund says you can use it for, if that makes sense. Otherwise, it has to be put into that. book.
So why didn't we do that when I told you we wanted the arena donations? When we
You
talked
do
about this
have-
months ago, why
you
didn't we
do-
do that then?
You do have an arena fund that we created, which is the
No.
JET grant.
That is not the same thing. That is absolutely not the same thing. There were donations by businesses and individuals, and then there was a separate grant that we got.
You turned in the grant money to the treasurer's office.
Yes,
So
Not
it sends
the
us a
ordinances that
receipt
you did.
with the fund that it needs to be gone into,
correct.
It was-
which said 1219.
Separate
Had it not said 1219,
Yes,
But-
I've got two here in front of me.
you would have to create a fund for every single time you get a donation, if it's for,
Yeah, but you just, you wouldn't, would you just, if you had a donation fund for all of your donations, whenever, you can't do that neither?
Then why was it recommended to us to make a donation line? Months
because
ago.
you did get a revenue donation line, that's what you had wanted, and it did go into your revenue donation line. We can't pay out from a revenue when we're paying an expense, that expense gets paid out of an expense line. So therefore.
So then how come it can just go into our cash account and get spent on utilities and everything else?
That's how every fund is set up.
Keep this in
It's-
mind, for
it's-
our next subject.
Every fund is set up like that. Whatever money goes in is in the cash account. Like that money just don't sit there and say, well, it can only be used for this when it is in your 1219 fund. The only way to do that is to create a fund for a restricted donations fund. But then if she gets a donation and it don't specify on that grant, on that fund ordinance, then that donation can't go into that line. So she's kind of at a catch 22 with that, if you see what I'm saying, like, it's,
So you need 27, well, we gotta get this back,
she's got the money in
Yeah.
repair and maintenance and 4929.
so that she can pay this bill that's due for the tear down of the arena. Out of the repair and maintenance is perfectly fine.
That's fine. I'm much more concerned with the fact of, I had all these businesses and individuals
So
paying
you're
this
saying the air
money.
conditioner come out of this 1219,
Because she has line items,
so
so,
the air conditioner should have come out of the repair and maintenance.
no, this was
Huh?
before you walked up.
Okay. Okay. Well, moving forward, that stuff will come out of there, so maybe this will stay. I don't know. So I guess first thing we need to do is get this thing back out of the negative. And in order to do that, like she said, State Board of Accounts says we can only take that money from the general fund to bring it back to a positive balance or the rainy day fund.
I make a motion to take it out of the general fund.
And Bill's got a motion to take it out of the general fund, $6,654.39. Linda seconds it, all those in favor? There you go, 6-0, so that's back.
And while we're doing that, let's make a motion to move her salary into the general fund.
Yeah, we have to get it out of, 4929.
Yep. All right.
I'll make that motion.
Bill's got a motion to take the rest of the year, or is that,
No,
I'll just move what's in the line items, if that's okay with you.
I think we should do it until that place gets functional enough to pay it.
Bill's making a motion to move the part-time salary for the Parks Board Director to the general fund. Mark seconds that, all those in favor?
This is what Jackie's recommend.
Yeah.
No, that is completely fine. Whatever you guys feel is
So
best
that
with
should
that.
help.
That's,
with that now.
With that being said, Jaden, so now that your 1219 fund will be at a zero, once we make this correction. And your salary is gonna be coming out of,
General.
county gen, and then your repair and maintenance is gonna be coming out of the 4929 fund. From here to the end of the year. If you get a donation and you put.
I'm not
that-
getting any more. I'm not gonna do it anymore until we have a set way that I can tell the people who are donating that I know where it's gonna be. We can't have grants getting moved around anymore. I can't just look at a grant account and it just be on zero when I've not spent anything out of it. I can't in good conscience get donations, Wendy, if I don't know where they're gonna be.
Well, 1219, I understand that, but 1219 isn't a grant fund, that's.
Why did we put a donation line in there then?
Because that's what you had requested. You had requested a donation line, you took a receipt to the treasurer's office to receipt it into 1219. Like, we just don't say, well, we're gonna receipt it into this fund. That's why we asked department heads, where do you want this receipted into?
We had lots of conversations about this,
So-
Wendy, on what would be best for our donations when I got these. It was all a conversation we had. We
I
had
don't-
meetings about it. If they were on video, we could go back and look at them. We've talked about this, and that is what was
Or
recommended
did
to
you
me at the
request to
time.
have a donation line into 1219?
There was a request at some point to create a donation line that I created.
In 1219,
Yes.
and that's what we done, and that's where the money was put, and we didn't do nothing more. We're trying to actually help you, and that's why I sent those emails of where we could pay this space construction out of, so that it could get paid. Because we don't want invoices just sitting there not getting paid, but at the same time, we can only do what we can do, and you can't have a donation fund that's just specifically for donations without it being restricted. And that restricted donation would have to be specified of what it could be spent on. And I had a long conversation with State Board of Accounts about this, so that I could give you an exact answer of what, so.
Could it not be specified to be spent on the park?
So that's your 1219 fund. So your 1219
No,
funds,
what I'm saying is donation fund.
Yeah.
So, but the problem you run into with that is if someone donates and it's for the arena. If that don't specify that it's for the arena, then that's where you run into the problem, because it's restricted. It would be a restricted. We can't do it unrestricted.
Could it
Make
not
that
just
clear.
say park though, instead? I mean, if she got a donation, could it not just say, she's saying this is a donation for the park, period? It's a donation for the park. She gets to determine
Right,
where it goes, if it goes into the arena or whatever.
well, according to State Board of
Which is
Accounts.
what was discussed.
Yeah.
According to
that
State
goes
Board of
back to
Accounts,
the
would it be
stuff
restricted,
that you wanted.
it would have it specified on the ordinance what it's gonna be used for.
Don't know that.
So I will reach out to them, I will send them a long email, and I will CC Jason in on it, so that she can see the response that they provide me.
Well, she can specify what it goes to, right? Am I,
no, that's the 1219. So that's what we did with the 1219 funds. We created a revenue line that says donations. So the revenues receipts go into that line, and that's where she was receiving them into. So it wouldn't say this is for revitalization or anything like that. It would just say this is from
But on the
whoever
donation
donated.
thing that you're talking about, Lucas, on the ordinance itself, it would have to specify what it is going to be used for. Donations are total, you got to watch the donations when you get into donation restricted, like that was made clear to me.
That's what these ordinances are for new funds for things that were donated, like a grant. A grant is a donation.
So if there was a fund that was just grant money or donated money, she can't prove on her side through her financial records that that money was spent for the arena or for the barn or
It
for
would have
whatever.
to specify on the ordinance.
It has to be on the ordinance.
So with that being said, I can reach out to Jamie, once they work at Town Span, and I can ask her. If we write an ordinance that says. Any donations that come in can be receipted into this donation fund and used for the arena, the livestock, revitalization, whatever you wanna call it, like. The work that's being done there. Can we do that? And she will send me a response back. On that
That's what I'm-
specifically.
that's what I think. I mean, if we can do it, that way it's all there and then she can say, this is enough. She can write down 2,700 and it goes to
Yes,
the
they do, yes, but
But isn't that,
that's the restricted, it's just a restricted donation.
park,
It,
restricted for park.
but that's what the 1219 fund is. And that's what I was trying to get at, is like right now, her revenue account looks like she has money in there because she has deposited money in there. But because everything else that came out of it, the cash account reflects as
Is there
negative.
other stuff in there besides the donations?
yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Don't have the,
I know what you're
other
saying, I get what you're saying, Lucas,
So what
and
else
that's what I'm
is
going
coming out
off
of
of.
1219.
That was her sound.
Share salary, her OSI, repair, maintenance, utilities, and everything she got was paying out of there, came out of there until you all made the change to 49.29 and 49.18. Which now her salary's going from that one to county gen, but
So that's what I'm saying, what's left in there now? Now that we just did.
it will be zero. So if she only uses that fund, just say for the rest of the year for donations.
Nothing else coming out of that.
Nothing else would come out of that fund.
That's what I'm getting at. So now that fund is zero. And we moved your salary and your oasis out of there. So there's nothing. There's nothing coming out of that fund no more.
Right.
So if you get a donation. And it goes in there, then that money wouldn't be spent.
And so she
Okay,
submitted a
spend-
claim that
Yeah.
it said so.
So this,
But that's not what you said.
That's what
You
I
said if it gets, it'd be the same thing. If I was to get a donation and put it in here again, it's just gonna get somehow spent.
It's not gonna get spent, because we're not gonna be spending anything out of there. Your repair and maintenance is out of there. Everything is out of that fund now. Because you don't have, there's no money in the fund to support the rest of it. So therefore, if you get a donation, it will go into the donation revenue line. And then whatever you decide you wanna use that donation for, it will be paid out in that 1219 fund. I would advise you to do that for now, so that you don't lose donations.
They're gone, Wendy.
But
The $3,000 that I begged and pleaded
Future.
for are gone. I mean, it's gone.
there isn't anything that
So
we've
we're-
done to cause that.
Where do you think?
$1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there should be $3,000 in there.
2,700, yes.
Okay, it got spent on the park,
Give me
right?
the council
That's
gives me a
been on the
budget
chart.
of $50,000. But I start spending my money, I only got $20,000 in my cash account. So no matter, even though y'all gave me $50,000, the state did allocate it, they allocated it over 6 months. 6 months, they give me this much, and then the next 6 months, the state will give me some more money. But if I try to spend that whole $50,000 at the beginning of the year, I only have a cash account of $20,000. So no matter what I use, I still have $30,000, but I can only spend 20 because I only got 20,000 in my account. And because that's all the state put in my account. I have to wait till the next supplement goes into my account before I can spend the rest. So if you don't want me paying for the rest of my bills, then somebody's gonna get hosed, even though I'm allowed 50,000, I only got 20,000 in my account. I don't care where it comes from, but I only got 20,000. So if you wanna keep the 3,000 in one account, then some other bill's not gonna get paid. And the money gets allocated to the account.
But you don't pay bills with donations, though. I mean,
It's all in one account, so it only has one set of accounts.
that's what we need to fix. We need to fix that so that she's not paying donation money for bills.
I give you the account, my reassessment.
But it's not for everything. That's how it's
I get what you're saying,
Monthly payments.
but that doesn't really apply to what her problem is.
I get what you're saying, but anytime I was ever having a shield, I'm gonna make other offers, it's like they have that, when I walk through the parents that I offer in that, they would have it's just.
And what happened here?
Right here, we got, let's fix this problem.
The account.
That sounds good.
You got a solution, anybody?
Yeah,
She's missing $3,000. The money to donate it to her.
let's take.
I know you're saying it's not missing, it got spent for her salary or,
Yeah.
air conditioner or whatever.
So
Her donation money got spent.
let's put that money back in there,
That's
it's
what
what
I'm
donation money,
You're doing.
so she has that, so she's made whole.
Yeah.
The Sorghum Festival looks really good, Jaden.
Thank you.
Does someone have a motion as to where to take the money to?
I'll make the motion, we take it out.
Bill's got a motion to take $3,000 out of the general fund, put it in 1219.
Yeah.
So Jaden has her money back. Not that it was missing, but it got spent for something. It's
So
supposed to be spent.
should we go ahead and? If I'm gonna get any more donations or grants or anything of that nature,
So there's
I,
nothing,
I need it to know, I need to know where to put it, where it's going to be used for,
1219, there's nothing coming out of 1219, no more,
even for next year.
Is your grant fund.
unless you,
Need to do this at the end of the year and then.
Yeah.
We can, whatever her budget is next year, then we'll have to go in and do something different. But for now, 1219, so not gonna have anything coming out of it or anything going into it except for donations.
so I got a motion here.
That is the first of the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second by Linda, all in favor? Everybody's in favor?
Yep.
There you
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your hard work.
go. All right.
You need black book machines.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that, yeah, there, but. All right. Is these, are they three different votes or
There's two
two? So the
quotes.
third one wouldn't allow, right? She asked for a third one, they never responded.
Yes.
Micro, was that the third one? Was micro one third?
Folks talking about English.
I got RBM and election system software.
If we use that one, that's.
The RBM is, total purchase, 163,910. This one
This is what she wants.
is 113,570.
We use this one. I met with the vendor down there. We can still use our same software. We just have new voting machines.
113,570.
The other one, if we go with the higher bid, we'd have to buy a new software. Yes. Zane, any question on it? I asked him specifically, I said, this is not something that's gonna be wore out next year or outdated. He said, this is the top of the line voting machines.
And have you guys looked at this more? That,
Is it,
do they have to do something with this or no? I know before we go.
We've not approved,
They haven't done it.
we've not approved any contract on the voting machine. We
Okay.
just saw a proposal, it's been several weeks or months ago.
Yeah.
We didn't vote on it.
So we need to let them do something.
Do you wanna look at that before we make a motion, or can we make a motion and you look at it?
I think we all looked at
So we just want.
it. I mean, if we're gonna approve it, then we have to really go through the process just like we always do.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I think you guys know what you're gonna do. I mean, be nice to know what you're gonna do.
Well, it makes sense.
contingent on their approval, we can go ahead.
Yeah, we can do that. We can go ahead and contingent that you guys
That'd be fine.
approve it. That way they don't have to wait any longer.
She come a while back, but she didn't have it with one bid.
That's fine.
So we turned her down, and now she's getting where she needs to do something, so.
If you all approved you sent to us and, on that condition, we do that to you every day.
Okay.
Is this the one on 10 machines or 12? One, was it 10 or 12?
What was she?
Yeah, one was for.
This one is for, Gen model 100 scanner.
Is it P300s or something like that?
One of the other, one oh was 12. And
10.
I keep saying 10. Everything here, Sean, says 10. but-
okay, that's good. I thought the other one said 12, but that's my point. I just want to make a remark is that I feel like, you know, and I've had this discussion with the commissioners. I'm just gonna say it publicly again. I think the county needs to look towards vote centers. Then we don't have to buy 10 pieces of equipment. We can buy 4 or 5 pieces of equipment. That way the person that's not able to vote at Patoka and works in Louisville can stop in Middletown on the way back and vote. I just think a majority of the counties, and I'm not saying all of them, I'm not saying which ones of them, but that's an option of the county. I think that's something that needs to be looked at, because of every township. You
So
know,
that'd be another commissioner thing.
that's exactly right. I just wanted to say that.
That's our part. That can't over to your commissioners.
I did.
I did.
I'll make a motion that we buy these out of the
I mean,
capital project,
approve,
the 110.
we're just approving the amount, or
Yeah.
contingent, we're not buying.
Contingent upon the
Commissioner's
commissioner's
approval.
approval. Bill's his motion is to go with the cheaper of the two, which will use our software through election system software for $113,570.
Capital project.
or say that one more time? What do you,
Bill's making a motion to approve election system software, the purchase of new voting machines, that will use our software for $113,570, contingent upon the commissioners approving it in the.
thank you. I second.
Stroud seconds. All those in favor? When he's got that, if you don't get it, it's not my fault.
Get it, and a big packet.
All right.
These ordinances, do you want to do these grants, ordinances?
Yeah, we can, yeah. We're gonna do these grant ordinances next, Greg.
Okay.
So we have one here for the revitalization of the Crawford County Fairgrounds Arena, known as the JET Grant, fund number 9165. Wonder if it's ever,
What account will that go in? Will it go in that?
9165.
So this is a whole separate
Yes.
deal, okay. So everybody got that? This is a new ordinance
Revitalization, right?
drafted by,
Yeah,
Max and Greg.
yeah, I see.
Need a motion to approve the.
Yeah, we need a motion, don't we, Greg? To approve it?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
9165, I'll make that motion.
Bill makes a motion to approve, the new ordinance 9165. Do we got a second? Mark, seconds it, all those in favor?
All right, no, all right.
Okay.
The next one is, an ordinance creating a fund for the seed grant for dispatch. It's fund 9166. That was created by Greg or Max. That's grant money for dispatch.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 9166.
Bill's got a motion to approve ordinance 9166. Do we got a second?
Stop.
Lucas. All in favor?
I need to abstain.
You're on the abstain on that.
It's related.
Okay. Well, I'm just doing the grant. Thanks for doing that, Sean.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, let's do it one there. Well, yeah.
Them right here.
Let's get the budget.
So I'm gonna go in and find it.
We're gonna go through these budgets, this one here is for, English Fire. Their total adopted budget will be $292,600. And we'll need a motion on each one of these and a vote, we'll do these all separate, there's nothing to sign, right?
Yes, you guys sign where your name is at.
Oh, it is on there.
I'll make a motion.
That's better. That's all right, I'll make it.
9226.
So this is for English Fire for $292,600.
I'll make a
Mark made a motion to
Yeah.
approve for English Fire. Do you have a second? Lucas will second that. All those in favor? I normally don't vote, but I'm gonna vote this time. I do not sit on the board. But we've got a member missing, so. So be it.
It's fine with me. Linda, please find your name.
You
Find mine, why you said that? Because I'm not gonna be right.
gotta find your name.
I have.
A, you're wrong. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Alright. I'm sorry.
Pressure.
I didn't want Wendy to get wound up there. Alright.
We just have to resign it, that's all. No big deal. Next one is Whiskey Run Fire Protection.
Whiskey Run Fire Protection, total adopted budget, $131,500.
Make that motion.
Lucas got a motion, we got a second, Sean seconds, all those in favor? 6-0. See, mine was in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
It moved on that.
It did, didn't it?
I know, I couldn't hear, but I can't do it.
Next one is Leavenworth Fire Protection.
Yes. Leavenworth Fire Protection, total adopted budget, $243,050. It's 243,050.
I'll make the motion to approve them.
Bill got a motion to approve. Lucas seconds, all those in favor? 6-0. My name, I just.
Well, they filled those out, so. The Carlton County motion. Next, Carlton County Solid Waste.
Crawford County Solid Waste, total adopted budget, $566,000 even. 566,000. So we got a motion to approve the Crawford County Solid Waste.
I'll make that motion.
Mark's got a motion. Got a second. Bill seconds. All those in favor? 6-0. Next one, Marengo Liberty Township Fire. 112,885. 112,885. Marengo Liberty Township Fire.
I'll make a motion.
Bill makes a motion.
I'll second.
Mark seconds. All those in favor?
I'm trying to find the name.
No, they moved it. You go from here to there, and they like to kind of keep people on.
Next is Carlton County.
Oh, I'm at the bottom, right, I'm at the bottom.
This next one is for Crawford County. Total budget for Crawford County, 2026. $13,365,371. That's $3,365,371, which is adopting $24,000 over levy.
That was, what was that total again?
The total,
13,365.
13,365,371.
71. Thank you.
$24,000 over levy, Mark.
I seen that. I got her right. Good, thank you, Dave.
Make a motion to approve that.
Bill makes a
Move some
motion
money.
to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
John seconds the motion to approve the Crawford County total budget. All those in favor? 6-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. Real accident on it on here, and I'll study the commissioners. That's all we understand.
All right, Chance, you wanna get started here? There he is.
We got it first.
We got bridge painting,
Okay,
what I've got down there.
yeah, it's for our replacement on Highfield Chapel Road, it's a small structure. We was bid out through our annual bid process. I don't know if anybody has seen it. It's been pretty bad shape for a long time. We put road plates down over it, try to carry some of the load to string along as long as it can. But the commissioners, declared an emergency if they're needing, and we do have the funds in the bridge fund to cover this replacement, so would not be additional money outside of our funds that's needed, it's just an additional appropriation out of the bridge fund.
Sure. How much is it?
Total installed, bid is $226,096.10.
Pretty much actual.
Whereabouts approximately? I was trying to think of which one it was.
It's just in front of the curved bridge that goes over the lake. It's just to
So
south.
Lucas, on this, is
You
this?
know where Goose Belcher lives?
Yeah.
So on this,
Yeah, I'm trying to
for
picture.
the budget,
Yeah.
It's wrong, that's wrong.
Lucas Stroud's name wasn't printed, everybody's name's printed with a yay, nay, or abstain.
Right,
At the bottom, okay, just right at the bottom. Okay, thank you. Okay.
I'm not very good today.
The span of it is just short of it being an inventory bridge, and that's probably why it wasn't called sooner. But I think with the new structure, it may become one, not really sure yet, because it's 20 feet is the minimum standard for it to be an inspected bridge, and I think this one's like 16 and a half, is it for?
I'm the signature lines.
Figure just going with one big.
Aluminum box culvert. Concrete box wouldn't work because of the overhead utilities. You couldn't get a crane in there, and then you would have got into utility relocation. Probably been too heavy to bring in on that road anyway.
Anyone got any suggestions? They got money in their bridge fund for the $226,096.10. I'll make the motion. Bill makes the motion. Wendell seconded. All those in favor? There you go.
And the only other thing I have is,
I think
it's a letter here for the president of the council to sign, or to sign at the commissioners meeting. This is just for our application on community crossings. We're submitting 2 applications, those are due before the end of the month. NDOT's changed the, application window. It's typically held in July. This year, they're doing one call in October for all of 2026, but it includes the financial commitment for both our hot mix asphalt and our chip seal applications for next year. And the amounts on the asphalt, our obligation would be 100,177. On the chip seal, our obligation would be 212.
Well, with my training, sir, my old days, so I think. What might be trying to put it? All right, I've got these two,
You have roads picked out already?
We submitted our roads for chip seal and asphalt, with the application, they're required to. And NDOT's doing something new, which may be telling to you all, where they've asked us to prioritize which roads we want on our, application, because with the new standards, you might get your 1 and your 2, but you're probably not gonna get your 3, 4, and 5.
That's why I was curious if you were, if that was my
We
understanding.
categorize those each on the 2 separate applications for asphalt and chip seal.
so we've got 2 applications here for community crossings, one's for, chip and seal, one's for asphalt. I guess we need a motion to, you all allow me to sign these? Want me to?
I'll make a motion, you sign it.
Okay, make the
I don't think you need that.
Sure. We're gonna do it anyway, we got a second? Mark second, all in favor? All right, I'll.
Anything from FEMA, Chance?
Yes, so I actually had a really positive meeting with them 2 Fridays ago. For our work completed projects, so on our, equipment rates for 2025, they've adjusted those up quite a bit. And so we'll get it back approximately for pending final review. They've estimated we'll get back 87,000 on our, everything that doesn't have to do with the slide. And on the slide, I went down, I got a hold of, Todd Young's office. And I went down, 2 Thursdays ago, or 2 Wednesdays ago, the day before the shutdown. And met with, his caseworkers in, New Albany. And so we've started the appeal through that. We were able to get a ruling from NDOT that says that Federal Highway did not provide them with any funding for the spring disaster. And Todd Young's caseworker seemed optimistic that getting NDOT to put that in writing, which they hadn't done up to that point, might overthrow the duplication of benefits. But anything over $100,000 is being personally reviewed by Christy Nome, the Secretary of Homeland Security. So she'll be, what we were told was she'll be personally reviewing that once that goes through the appeal process.
Good, thank you.
So pretty positive update with, and keep fingers crossed on the rest of it, but we did get back 87,000. Well, we'll get it back when it hits our hand.
Yeah.
All right. You guys ready to do our own business stuff?
She got a motion to adjourn?
Well,
I was supposed to
I got
the agenda.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, Jesse.
Jesse,
Yeah, Jesse.
go ahead, Jesse, I forgot.
Okay, I've got 2 items. The first one is that, since I've been at Economic Development, I've been paying attention to a grant program called Owner Occupied Rehabilitation. They've had it off and on over the years. I've always thought it would be a huge benefit to Crawford County. It's just, it was so herky-jerky and it never seemed to line up with what we had going on. They've now started offering it a little more regularly. I looked into it. I reached out to Region 15, Jenny Mottis from Region 15, who's handling that for French Lick, DuBois County, Tell City. They'll apply for the grant, they'll administer the grant. So she's the local expert on this. So I've got her here today to explain some details of the program and see what the county's level of interest is.
Good evening, it's Jenny Mattis, Anita 15 Regional Planning Commission. Some paperwork for you. What are these two things? So owner occupied rehabilitation, as Betsy said, has in the past been offered through the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority. In the past few years, it has been taken over by the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs, otherwise known as OCRA. And they have opened this up for counties and cities and towns to apply. Counties can apply for up to $500,000 in funding. Cities and towns can apply for up to $350,000 in funding. Now, this grant program, if it would be offered at a county level, would be open to all qualified residents of Crawford County. And this is based on income. Now, at the bottom of your sheet there, it does list out the income per household. I always quote the single person household, your income limit would be $47,550 a year. And a 4-person household is $67,900 a year. And Jesse, what was that, the figure you gave earlier at the commissioners meeting?
The 47,000 is right at what our median household income regardless of size is. And 66 is substantially over that. So a very high percentage of the county would qualify for this program.
So in this program, it can address 5 areas of concern in a home. It can do roof replacement, it can do HVAC replacement, it can do water heater replacement, lighting and electrical upgrades, and it can also do ADA accessibility up to the threshold of the home. It can't do like ADA accessible bathrooms, but it does give ramps or handrails, so that homeowners would be able to enter and exit their home safely. This is a highly competitive program. Orange County, as he's mentioned, is getting ready to submit an application. These applications are opened up quarterly. You apply in the second month of the quarter, and the awards are announced the third month of the quarter. So Orange County's application, the application period opened today. They're due November 14th. And they'll be awarded December 22nd. So it is a very quick turnaround in the application process, but there is quite a bit of work that needs to be done ahead of time. There are matching funds that the county would have to put forth towards this. It is a 10% of the total project cost. So if the county would request $500,000, excuse me, the local matching funds would go towards grant administration, home inspection and radon inspection. Every home does receive a home inspection and a radon inspection. Radon is the big push from the federal government now. We do kind of based on our topography have a higher prevalence of radon in southern Indiana. But those funds do, every home would receive that, and your local matching funds would cover all of that. Indiana 15 and myself would serve as the point of contact for all the homeowners, the inspectors, and the contractors that do the work. We would get all the bidding and everything together for it. If the county would decide to go forward with an application, there are extra points given on your application in the development process if you prioritize 4 key groups the state likes you to look at, which is individuals with disabilities, the elderly. They like to focus on aging in place with programs like this, veterans, and single parent households. So there are some extra points that you can get if your program scoring does prioritize those 4 groups. And a couple of final things on there. If the county would go for it, then it is based on income, as I've said. Your homeowner would have to live in county limits. You can open it up to everyone in county limits, as Orange County has done, or you can open it up just to those in rural areas, not in incorporated areas. That's something that can be discussed at a later time, but you have to own and live in the home. It cannot be a rental. It cannot be a home that you're purchasing on contract. It cannot be in a floodplain. And a new change that has come about with this type of programming is that it can now be a single wide trailer. In the past, those were not eligible, but there are a few stipulations with single wide trailers. They have to be built after 1981. All of the towing mechanism, chassis, all of those things underneath have to be removed, and it does have to be attached to a permanent foundation, slab, foot, or something like that, so that it does remain here in Crawford County and can't be pulled away to other areas after it has received funding. This was presented earlier this evening to the commissioners and has initially gained a favorable response. So, do you all have any questions?
Got a couple.
Yes, sir.
What I understood of the program too, so let's say that I get a grant, $25,000 to get my roof fixed. And then I sell the house within a period of time. That $25,000, if I had I had extra for my sale, would go back to the county.
There are some things that you can put in place. The state does not have to have, you don't have any kind of liens or restricted covenants like that. Some communities have chosen to put in place that you have to stay in the home X number of years. And if you do decide to sell within that period of time, then the funding does need to be paid back. But that is not something that is required by the state on these current programs, but it is something that you can pursue if you're so interested.
So just use round numbers, just $100,000 these numbers for me.
Yeah.
So if we applied for 100, we come up with 10. And let's say we only use two people give applications, we do 2 $25,000 applications. We got $50,000 left over. Is there a time frame? Do we pay it back? Does it go through you?
It would go back, if you decided not, if you usually have about 18 months from the time the grant is awarded until you need to have it closed out. There is a little bit of an extension that can be had, but generally we keep it at 18 months. And you would just return those funds to the state, but I can assure you will probably have large response of homeowners that are interested. More homeowners interested than funds available.
Hey, Jeannie,
Yes,
on this where it says highly competitive,
yes.
it says we'll need lots of residential,
Yes.
governmental support.
Yes,
From residents, residents to take the survey,
Yes.
residents to speak at the public hearings.
Yes.
So that needs to be in place.
yes. So when the application goes forward, there is one required public hearing before the application goes in. And then if the application is funded, there's one at the end, kind of a wrap up. How did we do? How many folks did we reach out to with this program? But yes, reaching out and getting that residential support is crucial.
Right.
Survey is a great way. It lists that, hey, these are homeowners that are interested, but it also gives us a great list of this is the need that's in the county. Support from council, commissioners, town councils is going to be crucial as well. Getting everyone to buy into the program and show
As well as the public.
as well as the public is a big thing that they like to see.
Yeah.
That everybody is buying it. And there are going to be people that are against it. But, one of the big things that people kind of gripe about is with a grant, it's your tax it's tax dollars. They'll say it's a grant, it's tax. Okay, so we've already paid in those funds. Why not try to bring some of them back here? I like to see grants come back to our region. We do serve 6 counties and I love seeing money coming back to our region as opposed to going other places in the state. We deserve it as much as anyone else does, so.
Thanks a lot.
You mentioned home inspection.
Yes,
Can you explain that a little bit, what that means?
so the county would put out a request for proposals for a licensed home inspector. That home inspector would then work with the homeowner and would go in and look at all 5 areas that the grant program can address. They write up, that they take pictures of what all the current conditions are and then would write up the bid specifications of your home needs a new roof. This is the type of roof we're gonna install. This is what all needs to be done in the bidding process. And so that homeowner would look at, or the home inspector would look at that. Then after all the work is bid out and completed, that inspector would go back and make sure that your roof was installed correctly, if everything looks good, they installed the kind of shingles or metal roof or whatever. In a positive manner and it was done well. And then they take some final pictures so that we can put it with the grant file.
One more, Jenny.
Yes.
As far as like, let's just hypothetically, like you said, $100,000
Mhm.
matching, 10,000. There, outside of the program highly competitive, like say, for example, the $10,000, if your chances of getting are greater if you go say $15,000, is that what I'm really hearing or? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? In order to get that out.
In order to be more competitive,
That's
to be more competitive, the more that a county can put forth, the better match, the more money that they can apply for. Yeah, it does, the more that you can put out there, it would be more competitive. Yep.
Any more questions for him? This is something I think, Jesse called me, and I told him I thought it was a good idea. So there's a lot of people in this county that could use some help, and I like the idea about, taking all these points too, every one of them. The veterans, the elderly, disabled.
Just gave the description earlier, is that, let's say, 2 people put in application. One of them's I'm just gonna use the example of disabled, single parent veteran.
Then you do only get points when you go through and score the application, you would only get points in one of those categories. However, there are some communities that have done, when you break down the income levels there, that is the low income, there is. And then there's also extremely low. So some communities have used those numbers as well. So the lower income you might gain some more points there. And then could also get those extra points if you are a veteran or a single parent or one of those other subcategories.
So is that something we would put in place?
That's something you would put in place as a county, yeah.
I think that would be beneficial and not so just, we've got veterans that are just barely getting by and we've got some that's pretty well off.
And like I said, the other reason I asked that question about, because like I said, I did research a little bit on it, and I did. Thought that was in there, you know, that if a person, let's say I wanna sell my house, but I got a bad roof. I go and I get the grant, I get my house sold, that's great, I mean, that's new people coming in, whatever, you know, whatever. But, I just wanna make sure that we're just not offering a free roof service.
Did you say, Jesse, you could put that in there where that's, there's a stipulation, they have to keep
Yes,
the house
More
sold?
than, more than 2 years.
So is Region 15 writing the grant?
we would write and administer the grant, yes.
And this right here, this like this income, that's the threshold?
Yes, that was, and that includes everything that if you, the only thing that people tend to ask, is this included as part of my income? And that the big one is child support. Child support does not count towards your income because that should be used for the benefit of the child and not counted as income. But anything like SNAP, TANF, your retirement, social security,
It's all included.
that all counts in there. Anything that you would report to the IRS.
Veterans compensation.
What?
Veterans compensation.
What do we need to do on this now? What's the next step?
I think wouldn't we have to have a motion, Jesse, to move forward with this and supply the
Yeah, the
badge? and how much?
commissioners voted contingent on the county council to move ahead, so if you guys are in favor of moving ahead with this, you guys can vote that. I would start working with Jenny to get the preparation stuff going.
Did you set an amount, commissioners, or?
No, we did not.
That would be the only thing I was just thinking is that we'd be conservative to start with.
That's what I was thinking, just give it a go one time and see.
Only because, you know, our township trustees have lots of funds out there that don't get used.
Right.
And I just don't wanna put a bunch of money into this grant, not money into the grant, we would put a little bit, a very small portion. But I'm just saying, I don't wanna be unfair to somebody else hogging up something if it's not even gonna get used. So I think it's every 3 months, if we burn it up in the first cycle, then we do it again next
We need
year.
to set that amount.
Good.
Yeah.
You have a proposed amount, anyone, to make a motion on?
I would go with the 50,000 myself.
Think so, to go all the way to 500, ask for the 500.
Are you against that, Charlie?
Well, that's what I'm saying, I just hate to go ahead
Yeah.
and commit to a lot of money that we're not gonna use,
How much does it cost to put a roof on a house right now?
25,000.
That's what I'm thinking,
I mean, seriously,
you're gonna blow through
Yeah.
Yeah.
100,000 real
I
quick.
think there's something else, isn't there a maximum per house?
The maximum each homeowner could receive is $25,000.
Yeah.
You can set it as a lower amount, and do more homes, or you can set it at that, and that's the
So I
maximum.
feel it at 20, actually, only do 20 houses.
Okay, so then,
I would propose the 50,000.
so is that
I
every
think it would go
quarter?
fast.
Redo it every 3 months? or
You could do one application if you, so say we started at the first of the year, we got an application in. You would have to complete that whole application, get all the funds expended, and then you could apply for another one.
So you can.
I'll make a motion.
Where do you wanna pull that from?
Check. Let's go with the,
Chance, check,
let's go out of the, let's go out of the general fund.
You got this now.
That's the one I know's got money.
Yeah, will we have time to put stipulations in there?
Yes, and that's,
Those kind of things.
starting this process ahead of time is a great way.
Put them after we're approved, right?
Those need to be in place before,
I think it's
before
before.
yeah. We need to go in knowing everything that's laid out for
All
homeowners.
the
Yeah.
good guidelines.
If we approve this, when is this gonna get submitted and go in effect?
We can work on that. We could go in as early as Q1 next year.
So quarter one, so.
So would we need to vote on it after the new year then for the new budget then?
Don't know the answer. Greg, you know the answer to that question? This,
We just have to cover it, but not.
this match isn't will go in effect. So the money, we wouldn't have to pay them the match until next year, is what you're saying. Correct.
So we need to not to do it then, right?
I would wait till after the
After the
first
first
year
Right.
and then do the additional 50,000.
I'll make a motion, we move forward
To let them start,
and
and the money will be
pay the money
appropriated.
out of next year's budget if that's okay. That's when you're gonna submit the thing anyway, right?
Yes.
All right, Bill's got a motion
to move forward.
Move forward. Sean seconds it, all in favor? 6-0. There
Thank you all, looking forward to working
Thank
with
you,
you.
Andy, appreciate you. Thanks.
Oh, we got.
Wait, let's,
Yeah.
I've got the one other item if we want to ask with that.
So good.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I've got some papers for you guys. Here, about a month and a half, 2 months ago, I was approached, Morton and I were, about potentially being able to utilize some edit funds in combination with rainy day funds to not only fund operations for the Parks Board next year, but to also give them some money to work with to be able to do some of the investment projects, like the arena revitalization and things like that. I'm passing out a piece of paper there. The first part of that about the funding that's being requested, that was what was proposed to us. We reviewed it, we thought about it, and what we're coming back with is we're okay in principle with that. And I'll get into the numbers in just a second to make sure everybody understands what I'm just trying to get the layout here. The second part of that about the guarantees for us is our counter proposal, because as most everybody knows, I know everybody on the council does, I think most other people do. X number of years ago, there was an EDIT, which stands for Economic Development Income Tax, passed by the county, which is a part of the local income tax. And that part is earmarked specifically for economic development and capital projects. And they need commissioner sign off to be able to do anything with that. So effectively, the state collects income taxes, and when they remit that back to the county, there's this portion of it earmarked for economic development stuff. That's what, the economic development back when Don Du Bois was here, that was funded through that, and the EDC has been funded through that. Under the new tax changes that take effect next year, there's not going to be this pot of income tax and this pot of income tax and this pot of income tax. You guys will have to pass a general local income tax, and that will be the only income tax that comes in, which means there isn't gonna be any earmark left. So our counter proposal is we are not opposed, and the county commissioners are not opposed to the idea of releasing some of that earmarked money, because the Parks Board needs it now, and we don't specifically need it right this minute. But if that's gonna be the case, we would like the county council to effectively say, out of what comes back in local income tax, we're going to earmark a portion of this for economic development for the next 5 years, so that we know that we have operating funds, and we trust that by the end of that 5-year period, our subdivision is gonna be in, and you guys are gonna be seeing a lot of revenue off of property tax. At that point, you're gonna be seeing a lot of additional revenue off of income tax, the motor vehicle excise tax. The people in those houses are gonna own vehicles. So by that point, the county's gonna see enough of an income off of our efforts that we believe that we shouldn't have an issue with funding beyond that point. But basically what was proposed to me was the county council could take $250,000 from rainy day and $250,000 from the edit fund to give $500,000. That covers $100,000 for the Parks Board for next year's operations, and $400,000 for their effectively revitalization or capital projects, or whatever they want to call it, their project fund. At that point, we would request, like I say, that the rest of that edit money stays right where it is. That should be, we've already got funding for 26. That should leave enough in the edit fund after our 2026 draw to cover 2027 and a little bit into 2028. So then from that point, the remainder of what's needed for 28 and what would be needed for 29 and 30 is effectively what we're asking you guys to earmark for us if we're gonna give up 250 now, because we could set on that 250 and that covers 28 and perhaps a little bit into 29. So I'm open to any questions that anybody has, on the side of the fairgrounds projects. I can't answer anything about that because that doesn't have anything to do with me, but the function of the agreement that I'm talking about, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that anybody has.
I like this agreement. I do want a plan in place that the commissioners and the council approve for this spending of this 400,000 at the park. Is that too much to ask?
As in like specific projects and specific amounts?
We need a plan on how it's gonna be spent.
Will you keep what, I know we talked about this, Jesse, but refresh my memory. Will she keep the same board she's got, or are you gonna do away with that board and everything goes?
We're not proposing anything like that. We're just, the money would go over into whatever accounts you guys want to put the money on. The Parks Board would continue to operate just like it is now.
Board's got something back there.
I think the answer to that, Bill, is we're not in a position, we're not gonna make a plan. Jaden and Parks got to make a plan
Yeah.
to bring it to us. So
Yeah.
But don't we need to approve it?
We would need, well, you got to approve it, yeah, you got to approve the money, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I think what he's saying is we approve the money, and then they go out there and build a $400,000 barn, and then come back and say, hey, we're out of money.
I understand.
But that can't happen, and I'm not saying you would do that.
There's nowhere to put one.
I'm just saying.
They give her some funds to do projects, a rainy day fund. You know, she knows her budget. I mean, the money's there, so.
Everybody's seen what whatever you wanna call it, a fiasco or a mess or a misconfusion or a miscommunication that we dealt with in the beginning of this meeting. And my thoughts, when this all started here, is this would solve that problem. You get the money, they're all yours. If it don't work, don't come in here, cause we're done.
This is 25 years,
I understand.
25 years. This is going on. We put almost back at taxpayers, in Indiana and Crawford County, put nearly $2 million into that 63 acres. And we're at the same place that we were 25 years ago. Because of confusion that they all couldn't get along, they couldn't agree, boards here, there, nonprofits, who owned it, back and forth. You know, we own it now, exactly. So
We
now,
own it. We're trying to establish, I think we've got somebody that, and I think you probably agree,
Absolutely.
we got somebody there that's working hard. And we said when we bought it, it's gonna be a 5-year plan to get it on its feet running.
Yeah,
It's run down, ain't not bad, I ain't telling you.
We do that going into it.
Jesse, Jackie suggested too that if we were to expand the camping, that we could even use tourism money.
That's also out of my wheelhouse.
I don't know what I told President about it, word.
Well, I hadn't had a chance to talk to Dave yet, so.
I am not sticking my nose in the middle of that.
Well, I was just telling.
But I think we'd be favorable with that.
Sure, yeah.
Jaden, and what's, give me a, we're talking about camping here, creating a campground, or what is it your plan, what's your forecast?
Right now, we're kind of running on whatever we can get at the moment. So creating long-term plans is something I've thought about, but it's hard to put into practice when I don't know if it's even a reality. Why I can't spend time building a campground in the back when I'm trying to keep the lights on in the front. So it has been discussed with my board to extend camping to the back. And the, like, if you know where like the dirt track area is, I mean, that's what, that's what it was originally for. That was the original plan. Right now we've got 20 camping spots that we do rent out, periodically for different things, for different events and just on a day-to-day basis. But I mean, you came out and we looked and we could extend it all the way through the back. We have very large organizations who want more camping, who would spend the money to have more camping.
So back in
It's a great thing.
2007, when we had the Spelunkers. And that place was full and it was developed, and over there on that south fence.
Yep.
There's electric, water.
No,
Okay,
there's Well, there is a little bit of electric and water, the water lines haven't been functional in a while. Cause me and Bill looked at it a little bit of just, there's a couple outlets, it doesn't go back very far,
So,
maybe 100.
so let me ask you this, can you put some type of plan together and meet with tourism on the 19th of November at 6 o'clock? Or at least send us some type of idea.
I can at least send a plan. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but I can at least.
What your main areas.
I met with Jade now, Tara, and we looked, and she needs water and electric in the back. And that's why if we did,
So, but how high a priority is that?
if we did the camping down along that back side, that would give her water and electric back there too, to expand that back part area. And it would just be, it would just make it where you could grow in the future. It's we need to get this thing growing and need to get it developing, and I support this 100% and I'm for it.
Yeah, and we have lots of large organizations who want to put time and effort and money into it. And I do have lots of, if anybody's ever talked to me, I have lots of plans and lots of ideas. I mean, we could have been out there all day talking about just a million different things and a million different avenues we can go, which ultimately is up to my board and not me. But like I said, if I could know an amount like this 400, and I know that I've got X amount of dollars to at least operate, because that's been the struggle of since the county bought the property and Jesse was the president of the board, just having the money to operate.
Yeah.
So if I can know that we have the money to operate, that opens up the capacity to start planning for how are we gonna stop, treading water and finally start actually getting things moving and pulling in some funds.
I think that's what I meant about a business plan, you can get a priority plan, something that.
Yeah, we have a basic outline for our board, and I'm happy to.
We own
I think we really need to do one thing, what's, most money making
Absolutely.
projects going forward.
Absolutely,
The first 400,000,
for sure, I agree.
I agree.
whatever events are gonna bring the money in.
Yeah.
We start self-supporting and building on that, build out from that.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, the arena has been the big money maker that we currently have. Kind of fixing the things we have into making them operational again and pulling in funds just to start. And once that kind of stuff is done and we're operational in the front, adding stuff into the back like campgrounds and different things like that. I mean, it's a reality. Once you get the stuff off the ground, it's all the additional stuff in the back starts becoming a reality. Because it's 63 acres and we're only utilizing 20 of it.
Just a thought, just because it popped in my head, but Jerry Hanger, he had that concert down in Marengo and brought out, thousands of people. It'd be a nice thing to have for the community, is a stage, a nice stage for.
Well, actually, it's crazy that you say that because we talked about that in my board last night. An idea that to be honest, I don't even remember how I came up with it. But there's things to like outdoor classrooms, like North Harrison High School just built one, it's smaller. It's basically a tiered system, stage at the bottom. And if you've been to the fairgrounds and the topography of it, none of it's flat except for the stuff that has buildings on it. Everything else is a hill. So finding a way to use those hills is something I thought we could do with an outdoor classroom. You basically excavate out tiers into the hillside, put a stage at the bottom. It can be as big or as small as you want it to be. So I talked with my board actually last night about what areas they would like to see that in. And we have some people who are interested in being donors to something along those lines. So I think that's a great thing, adding concerts and then people camp for the concerts, people pay for parking for everything inside the concerts, vendors inside. I think it's a great thing.
Well, can we approve this money and set it in a line item and then have the commissioners and council approve the spending?
We can do that. I mean, I don't think we need, I think you all wants needs to approve the spending of it, but I think we need to be involved in some capacity of the plans moving forward, where that's gonna be spent.
And
So
we have monthly meetings, actually always the day before the council and commissioner meetings. Like we had our board meeting last night.
So.
So our next one, I pull up my calendar.
Not like I don't have enough meetings to go to, but I'm gonna go to that.
No, you're free time, November 10th.
Dan's got something to say.
One thing I'd like to add, her HVAC equipment out there is wore out. It's just, and that's something that probably in the future is gonna have to be changed. And she's got a mound system out there that's not working properly. And Bill, you probably, and it needs some addressing. I was looking at it the other day, I was out there and there's some
manhole covers, it's just totally gone, but it needs to look at, and I think you were talking about, my memory serves me right. When that thing went online, I was on the council, and I believe the water lines are sufficient on that south side to go all the way back. I think that was the plan when it was put in there, I'm thinking right.
It's definitely possible. I've talked with Charles about it. We've got it quoted to at least get back to to get us to get back to the horse arena in the back, not the big arena in front, but the big in the
I
back.
think the plan to begin with was
I agree.
for that to happen.
Yep.
So,
And, the HVAC, I mean, it does need, you know, it needs help,
It-
and that's
it's-
something my board has said, each year we will. So put a new one in if the funds, if we have a maintenance fund for it, putting a new unit in each year until we're back at full capacity. Cause even now, it's not running at full capacity, I think we have. It's either 12 or 16 units in the pavilion alone. And I think when the county bought it, we were running on 4. And so now we're up to, I think, 8 now. And so
But-
it's something we wanna keep adding on and keep building on. It's just gonna take time.
that's a good investment we got there, I never thought,
You're,
but we need to take care of it, and keep it updated, and keep everything maintained. And I think this is a good start.
When's that meeting? Alright, I'm about to go.
our meeting, the 10th at 6:30.
6:30?
Yeah, the 10th at 6:30. Mark, do you know what time that tourism meeting is on the 19th? I will at least have.
But they're going to be on fire.
Yes.
The budget workshop, Jackie said next year, $62,000. So they have money in that fund.
We're spending money that's already there.
Yeah.
Alright,
You made a motion.
I'll make a motion that we move forward with this and we create a line item. And we put this money in there, and Jaden's board is to come up with a plan. And the commissioners and the council needs to look at what you got, and the money will be there, but we'll need to approve the spending.
I am probably gonna release the budget as amount for 26, though, right? Keep it 400,000.
Yeah, we need to release the 100,000 in January.
Yeah, for her
Yeah.
budget.
So what are you,
Okay. That's
You're
fine.
just-
Yeah.
what's your motion? Is it to discuss? Or is it to move $400,000?
Yes,
It's to move $400,000.
five.
Oh, thank the Lord. Okay. So we're moving $500,000 into,
This is money, we're spending money on ourselves. And we're spending edit money, rainy day money on a park that needs to be able to fund itself. Otherwise, like you said, we're gonna be spending money on it from now on. So we
I
need to
never
get
said
it.
we're gonna be spending money on it for now. I'm saying we've spent money for 25 years.
Well, let's don't go backwards, let's go forward.
I
think it was-
Absolutely. But we're repeating the same thing.
I do think there's a few differences now.
Yes.
I
there's a lot
would
of
like to,
difference.
I take a lot of pride in what my board is, and myself has done. This is, we are not repeating the past. Over my dead body, will this park ever look the way it does now again? It will never look this way again as long as I am in my position.
Well, we own it now,
Yes,
We had,
you know.
the difference too is, we was pouring money into a park that we didn't know.
You know?
And didn't have control. We didn't have control like you
I
know.
think, well, some misconception there, and Dan was on the council and he was on the commissioner all the time with that, is that there was misconception that the county actually did. I've got copies of the agreement, what the park board president, but it never was signed. It never made that exception. Everybody operated into the assumption that it was the county's for 50 weeks a year.
and I
And
do
the
think
picture was-
that is a theme that has happened with this facility is who's in charge of this, who's in charge of this, and can we do this, and can we do that? And we don't know where this money went, or it got put here, or it's in this account.
Right.
That is definitely, obviously, a problem. And I personally feel like we should have a better system for that, so that kind of stuff doesn't happen again. But I think we have.
And
the
I'll
people-
absolutely echo, Jake, you have done the most in the period of time that you've had to that park for what you've had to work with. But unfortunately, we only have so much to work with. For years and years and years, we've said we're gonna do gun shows, knife shows.
Those are all
Those
happening
happen
now.
like once a year, twice a year, something like that, whatever they happen, but it's been the same thing over and over. And there's not been anything, you know,
This plan, we'd have
This
three
thing would allow
boards,
that.
we'd have three boards looking at this, trying to do what's best for the county.
which going back was a problem before, when you had 21 people trying to make a decision. You can't, we're struggling to get by on 7 people here, but they have 3 boards and have any agreement.
Well, we used to get along really good.
I'm just saying.
I think-
I think this was a better
$500,000 is a lot of money for me to even say
You don't,
anything on right
you
now.
don't need to vote on it.
Okay,
And I mean, I think there have obviously been a lot of problems with a lot of different groups in that facility. It's got a lot of bad blood, but this is a perfect opportunity to move past that. We have all of these different entities who want to see it succeed, and this is a reality of making that happen. And I mean, I'll say it like
let me
this.
back up on what
Let
I
me say
said,
one more
because
thing.
I
Let
don't,
me say one more thing.
okay.
I have done a lot with very little, not just me, but my board and our facility has done a lot with very little. So just imagine what could be happening if I wasn't having to come to every single council meeting and get $2,000 to get through the next month. If we were actually able to not have to wait for a new grant cycle every single year. So we got a lot of grants and it's fantastic. But the process and time leading up to those grants is a lot of time, because I've been doing this for 2 years now. The county's on it for free. We could have a lot of stuff done that hasn't been a reality yet. If we have our basics covered and the reality to look forward past what's gonna happen in the next month. So that's all I have to say about that.
And exactly what I said, what you guys have done, what you've had is what you can do, and that's what we've all had to do. That's what people have to do at home, you can only work with what you got.
You wanna ask a
And
question?
if that's what it is, then that's what you got, and you guys have done the best that you can. Give me an example, what would be something that would attract all this money? If you say, I give you $400,000-$500,000, you're gonna be able to do what?
So obviously, we would finish outfitting the arena, which I can't speak on it yet. I have a group that's very interested in doing that for us, at no cost to us. I'm not gonna talk about it yet because it's up to their board and their decision if they go move forward with that,
Okay,
but
so let's fast forward, what would that generate the county?
absolutely. So there's a million different ways we can go about it, per council and commissioner and my board approval. You can do truck, tractor, horse pulls, demo derbies, rodeos, monster truck rallies, a million different things. I wanna build a concert space like we talked about, or the meeting space. There's a million different things you can do with that. We can expand the shelter houses and do different rentals through that way. We can outfit the interior of the building, make it nicer. I mean, Harrison County is charging over $1,000 for a weekend at their fairgrounds facility. Because it's extremely nice and well outfitted and well maintained. I don't personally think we should charge that much, but the more you do to your facility, the more higher end events you can have. I mean, we've all been to conferences at French Leg. It's extremely nice and people want to come there. And obviously outfitting into the back, we can do races of all different kinds in the back. I mean, physically running, like 5Ks and things of that nature. Camping all year round, because it's odd to camp in a parking lot if you're not coming for a tournament or something of that nature. So we can have the whole entire campground in the back, million different rounds. We can turn it into a wedding venue that can generate $5,000 a weekend or in a day. There's so many possibilities of what it can be. And I don't see any reason to limit ourselves if the money is there and if there's the manpower willing to put it in. Now, obviously, I'm one person and I'm a part-time employee. I put in a lot of effort because I wanna see it succeed, but I can't run 5 tractors at one time, making an event happen. So there are gonna be costs to it, as well as insurance and things like that. But the amount of things we can do to generate funds for that facility and even for the community as a whole, the thought of bringing things to the community and for the kids and for adults and everybody just to have something here locally. I mean, I think that to me is way more important than bringing in the funds, giving people the opportunity to have these things locally. So like I said, there's a million different ways we can go about it. And I'm open to any input of what anybody has.
So my question kind of didn't get there, but I'm just gonna use an event, one event. Give me one event you would like to do in the arena and what's your estimated revenue off of that event.
A rodeo, $5,000 a day,
Okay, $5,000 a day, and how many you gonna have?
at least 7 a year.
Okay, so you're gonna have 7.
We can do many more than that, but currently that was something that was presented to us last night.
So that
I
would be
just
the
got a
revenue.
question, sorry.
Okay, I was just curious, because I remember Chad had brought it up before, I think it's kind of like we're in between a rock and a hard place, you know what I'm saying? And we all, when we thought about this, how to, the position that we were forced into, really in a way, in a sense, we all really want to see it succeed, it needs to succeed, you know, for the community. But there were some things that he had brought up earlier about like the insurance, you do a demolition derby, or you do a rodeo and stuff, are you gonna be able to, like,
They've already looked into that,
That-
or somebody found the solution, correct? Don't you? You've got the number, all you need to call it. Is that not right? I was told that somebody give you information to solve that problem.
I've talked to multiple different insurance companies. I'm going through the process with all of them right now, because currently we're through the security company. Obviously adding more stuff onto our plate adds, either you're gonna do event specific insurance each time, which is what a lot of our vendors do, which is an option for us, depending on what the event is. And then also just our overall insurance and finding out what deal is best for us. I've currently been talking with Ferdinand Farmers. They're kind of who I've been in contact with the most, who's contacted me. There was one out of Illinois and then one up north that I was talking to as well. There was one out of Orleans. So there's a couple different options, and hopefully by the time that our current insurance policy is up for renewal again, we'll have more options and we can move from there. So it's kind of hard to say, just not knowing exactly what event it's gonna be. But yes, there's different options we could explore in that happen.
The problem was like with what happened was we had a beautiful arena that we did rodeos, tractor pulls, 4-wheeler drags, all that kind of stuff. And then the first demolition derby we had
Right.
destroyed it.
Yeah, so it would be
And
in
no
the
one
same
will else
space.
will ever be able to use that.
So it would be in the same space. We have enough space to do 150 by 300 foot arena and also a 100 by 100 demolition space as well. Right, all there in the same area. There's just enough room for that. We could expand the demo spaces to the back or somewhere else in the facility if that's the avenue that was chosen. But like I said, right now, it has to stay separate in order to keep certain people in the
Exactly.
arena.
Right,
So that's,
which then now you got 4 lights, PA.
no, it's all right there.
You know.
It's all right there.
Chad.
All right, Bill's got a motion on the floor, or Rick, you never asked me a question, did you ask me?
yeah,
Did you get the answer?
yeah.
All right, you got the answer. Bill's got a motion, do we got a second?
I said,
Oliver, Mark, seconds the motion. To move forward with this with the fairgrounds, all those in favor? Got, 5 and 1, all opposed, Sean's opposed.
My comment is that I'm not opposed to the expansion and advancement, I'm exposed to the $500,000. Right.
So for something about first, 100,000.
That goes into the budget for next year.
So we're not doing anything with that right now.
That'll go in January.
You go for that,
Go ahead, Greg.
400,000.
200,000 on the budget.
I think you said.
Yes.
What, where is that 400,000 coming from? What we're at?
Oh, okay.
250 from the rainy day. There's 250 from rainy day fund.
That make it all, well, there's got more, the 100
goes into the.
500,000.
They go fund their budget. See how that 5.
Give her the paper.
I got that paper, but it doesn't tell me. It tells me that now. So, $250,000 from edits, and
250.
$250,000 from rainy day
Yes,
is going into
you can put it into one line item if you want to.
Pay for it,
the
Greg.
rainy day fund though.
I got a question.
That's the same as the fund.
So let's try it, so then you vote on something.
Let's say Board of Health give me a better solution.
It needs to stay in that. So we take it out
When
when
we
we
come back and.
We just have a line item in there
Same
for
thing.
parts, for expenditure.
It's fine.
But if 100,000, that is your budget for 2026.
So he said to do that in January.
Okay.
Or the same.
but for the rest of it, she do it next year. All except for the
If you want to, you can wait till first year if you want to.
Do the whole 500,000.
We just haven't approved, so
Okay. And we'll,
Just wait till the first.
okay, we'll do it.
we need to get a parking plan. We need to plan anyway. So.
Yes.
So,
We have a very, loose outline of like a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plan that my board has put together, that I had put together at the beginning of the year. I can get more specifics and
That'd be great.
the pretty version of it, and bring to the, at least into the tourism and bring to,
That'd be helpful, that'd be
we
great.
can absolutely do that.
I think you talked before, are you in some sort of a, I don't call it a group or that where you put Crawford County's facility in or, conventions, conferences, that it's a meeting type place?
As of right now,
With that kind of stuff?
so there is the, I'm not gonna call it the right thing, there is a convention at the beginning of every year for different fairgrounds and community buildings and just fairs in general. That I haven't attended, I looked into it last year, but my schedule didn't work out, it's something I thought about doing, but that would be more for a fair carnival type of thing.
So Jesse, whenever you to bring that agreement to us.
Yes, I'll have all the attorneys prepare the agreement, and I'll send it to Chad, so you might have you guys attorney here. She's got it in November.
Yeah, she's got some where they set up, she didn't have any money.
So we,
We not giving somebody now.
who, Jay,
Yeah.
she's got, we just put 3,000 in that one, right?
What do
You got money on repair and maintenance.
Do you have something on, like, that you're ready to tackle?
Now, at the end of the year, what are you looking at?
Yeah, sort of. I did have a few options. But yes, there's lots of things we could do. There, the main thing I would say would be the arena, but like I said, there's been something presented to us that it might be in our better interest and more cost effective for us to wait. We could move on it.
Let's wait.
Let's wait, yeah, let's wait.
Okay.
Not that, I thought you had that took care of, I was talking about something else.
Well, we
I
could
can
have
tell
to
you
give me a
that.
day, and I mean, I think adding water and electric to the back would be my next step. If we just had extra money sitting around, that wasn't for like maintenance or operations and things like that. So I would say adding water and electric to the back.
I think that expansion of the park is where tourism would be interesting,
Absolutely,
because we're talking about bringing folks from outside in
for sure.
to spend the weekend.
And I would encourage anyone who wants to go out there and volunteer to go do so. I did it 3, 4, 5 times. I've been out there and did different things. I'm not saying I'm the only one, because I'm not. But, it's just don't mow that grass, you'll learn so quick. Jesse, how they do anymore. Is that all you need?
Yeah,
We've got
like I
one
told
more thing.
Bill, I'll get the agreement to you, so you can get it to your attorney before the next council meeting.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Same.
Are we done? One more thing, and then we're gonna get out of here.
I'm ready to go home.
I know you're ready to go home, but we've got one more thing we're gonna do. I'm gonna try this time, if it don't work, we'll come back and do it again when we got everybody here. We've had another occurrence, and I'm not gonna get too in depth into it, just for people's privacy. And I know we just did the budget, and in that budget, Allison had $30,000 for a pickup truck to isolate her from these runs that she's had went on. Yes, she knew this when she ran for this position. But I'm telling you, and it's just a fluke, I know it is, but what if it continues? Now we're up to 3 or 4 runs that some of our best EMTs, firefighters, police officers have never seen nothing like it before in their life. Now, is she gonna have another one? Let's hope not, but she might have, and other counties just did it. I plead with you to please take 30,000 out of the general fund, allocate an X amount, whatever it is, give her X amount of dollars and then let her go to work and find a truck for that much. No more. She might find one for less. And then she's got enough money she should have in her repair and maintenance that she won't need for that van or the truck needed to upfit it with the appropriate compartment to secure the bodies. And carrier body bags and, like I said, I'm not gonna get into no big detail, but she will, or can you share photos? She can share photos with any of you who want to see them. Right.
I've been saying
If
this
you're
for,
squeamish, I've seen the photos.
I've been saying this for a while, I'll make the motion.
I understand it's not, but this needs to happen.
Yeah.
Just get it
He's
over.
got the motions.
I'll
We
make
got
the
the
motion
motion.
to approve. the
Do I have a
30,000.
second? Sean seconds it. All those in favor? There you go.
How much,
$30,000.
From general.
Yeah.
Chad was like, Chad.
No, but you wanna be?
Yeah, I had a staff.
I'm not gonna argue with you. Come on. This is what,
Yeah, kind of thought I'd speak before you guys pass the budget, so this is gonna be in present tense when it should be in past tense. So, I've seen the proposal of the budget, that I have a question about how certain numbers ended up the way they were. But I'll just say this, that as everybody in the room knows, criminal justice is constantly a topic at the forefront of everybody in the community. And I was in attendance when we talked about giving the raises for the deputies. I supported it then, I support it now. I think that the right thing to do was to give them raises. But as everybody has known since 1990, and I can do the voice if you want me to, the criminal justice system is the people are represented by two separate but equally important groups. The police who investigate crimes and the district attorney who prosecute offenders. When you only give money to one part of the conversation, which I wholeheartedly believe they deserve. I hate using sports metaphors, but I guess I'm going to. They get me to the 50-yard line. The reason why Clinton Herman is going to die in prison is because we got to the end zone, because of the work of my office. The reason why other people are going to not see their children for Christmas for the rest of their lives is because of the work of my office. So when I requested the salaries that I did, and I said at the meeting that I love my staff, I think they're gonna be around for a while, but eventually I'm gonna have to replace them. And I stand by that. I think they'll be around, but again, I'm going to have to compete with the other communities. I have the way that we could pay for it. If you guys want to have a different conversation at a different time, I can tell you exactly where the money can come from, where it doesn't actually cost the taxpayers any. I can tell you now the short version. So as you guys know, the 4D reimbursement for my child support administrator is 66 cents on the dollar. I asked for a substantial raise for it. If you gave her the raise that I requested, it wouldn't cost anybody any more money. You would just get less reimbursement money because of the way the math works out. The money that again does flow into the general fund, but you wouldn't have if I didn't have a 4D administrator. As for my office manager, who is also my diversion deferral program coordinator, that money I will gladly take out of my diversion deferral to give her the balance of what I think she needs to be paid. And my investigator, the amount of money you allocated got him to $41,000. If I were to see the number that I don't see in front of me, $40,139. I asked for 48. I can again make up most of that money through my diversion deferral. If you guys would have been the salary ordinance for me to do that. And as we know, diversion deferral are the funds that I and my office solely control. So it's only money that I take in and I can spend, and I have the assets and the resources to do that. If the money moves every month the way it's supposed to, then that money would be directly deposited into my account, and we would have the funds to cover the amount of money I'm asking for. Again, we can have a much longer conversation about exactly the numbers. I broke them down today, exactly how I make that work. But I'll just give you a couple of brief statements about my 4D administrator, for instance. That if anybody should be really offended by the way the salary is broken down, if you look at it from a macro level, the county council has decided that she's worth 34% of somebody working the exact same amount of money. Because it's the amount to the taxpayer, which since it's reading 66 cents on the dollar, you're saying she's worth 34% of somebody else. She has 262 active cases right now. That is money that's arrears, that's current paying. She's the person who establishes paternity, which we actually did on a deceased cremated guy a few months ago. I'm very proud to tell you the story one day. We filed into an estate to see somebody's inheritance so that we could pay somebody's arrearage. She's the person that makes sure that garnishments are filed. She's the person that keeps in contact with all the families that we serve. She goes above and beyond, especially considering she's the only person who does that part of her job. My investigator, who works Wednesday mornings, as Brian and I trade off, who works on Wednesdays, we're one of the few offices that's open on Wednesdays. The reason why he is in on Wednesdays is that's the day where he has to use the computer that doesn't have an outside line to it doesn't have an internet connection, because that's when he's redacting the child pornography he can do. Whatever amount of money I'm asking for, I promise you it's not enough, because he has to deal with this, and it's awful, it's explicit, it's graphic, and it's terrible. And my office manager, in addition to having to run my office, which is not an easy thing to do, the person that is in charge of my infraction and deferral programs, the deferral programs, where it is 60% of her phone calls every day are dealing with people who are dealing with their traffic tickets, which again is the revenue that I use to pay, I propose to pay part of her salary, part of my investigator's salary, the way that I spend most things in my office. So I understand that we all had tough decisions to make. I understand why the budget is what it is. I'm just asking you guys to strongly consider looking at the budget ordinance and working with me to get closer to the number I think they're worth. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I got
We should do the salary ordinance December, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. And Justin would like
Right.
to revisit it.
Can we see something on paper? Sure, next month. And then-
Yeah, well, what we talked about, go back on the budget, last of the ordinance. So I noticed that, and I'm assuming you guys know this, I noticed that the money that was diversion and deferral that we're paying my investigator's salary all moved to the county general. I appreciate that, thank you. But for some reason, it also still allocates diversion and deferral funds. I think at one point it was zeroed out and somebody, and I'm assuming it wasn't anybody who's sitting here, added the money back in. Which that means that on paper, it says that Dan's gonna be paid $53,000 a year. If that's what you guys wanna do, great, I support it. But I would imagine that's probably not what you intended. But just so you know, and that money, since already allocated for salaries, I would gladly use that to supplement, because it's a $3,000 difference between that amount that's allocated and the amount of money that I think I need to pay staff with their work. What I would ask is if you guys do decide you're not going to use that for salaries, I need you to release that money from the salary line item so that I can spend it for other things. Thank you.
Thanks, Chase.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Bill,
Second.
all those in favor? Or adjourn. Anything, Greg?
See you later.
All right, appreciate it.
Start warming up.